Are you struggling to keep up with boxing? Download the Boxing Showtimes app for the latest fight schedules, full undercards, boxer stats, news, and real-time updates. It's more than just an app, it's the boxing community you want to join.
Boxing King Media, powered by the Riyadh season. Frank Smith, how you doing, mate? First of all, lovely jacket you got on today.
Thank you, mate. Eddie said I look like Inspector Gadget, so I appreciate your appreciate that note from you.
Does Inspector Gadget wear glasses?
Yeah, like Eddie's terrible Clark Kent ones. Looks like a fake Reggie Cray from the the movie that Tom Hardy did.
Oh, you know about the Cray brothers?
Yeah, he looks like one of them.
That's probably. I'm liking the scarf. It's different. Yeah, we're at this like mad press conference to announce like a ridiculously amazing boxing card, probably one of the best cards in boxing history. But the biggest news that's kind of released, and we've got to mention it first, is Tyson Fury's popped out a video this morning saying he's done with boxing and made references to Dick Turpin as well. I don't know what you read into that, and what just your reaction to get the news?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not the first time he's done it, is it? It might not even be the last. If that's how he feels today, fair play to him. And we'll see how long it lasts. But as you say, we're here for a massive day, for a massive fight card, probably one of the biggest fight cards we've ever seen in the sport. And that's really the focus right now. As I say, we've been down this road many a times where he said that. And if it is the end, then fair play. If it's not, we'll see.
The obvious question is, do you believe him?
Like I say, he's done it many a times. He said the same thing many a time. So would I bet it's the end? No. But, anything's possible. At some point, it's got to be the end, doesn't it? But I don't think now's that time.
AJ, I spoke to Eddie. Eddie did suggest that AJ's plan B would be the winner of Dubois Parker. If he's not the winner of Dubois Parker, who else is there out there? I know he did a face-off with Bacoli the other day as well.
I personally still like the Deontay Wilder fight. That fight in America. I think that's a great fight, or Riyadh, obviously, but that fight in the US as well. That's a massive fight against Deontay Wilder. Again, this business is about narratives. People win, they lose, they draw, but the reality is people want to see fights that they're interested in and where there's a narrative that's been built over years. And I still think that's a massive fight between those two.
Yeah, I agree. Let's hope we can get Wilder back on the negotiating table. Let's talk about this card. I asked Eddie earlier which one particular fight is he most excited about, so I'll ask you the same. If you had to say just one fight you want to watch?
Look, it's a tremendous card. It's such a hard question because of the depth of the card. It's, like I say, it's the best card top to bottom we've ever seen. For me, though, BIVOL BETERBIEV. It was an unbelievable fight the first time around. How lucky are we to see an undisputed fight like we haven't seen them for years, and then you get the first one in October and a rematch just 4 months later. It doesn't happen in the sport. So that's the one for me. Look, I think it was a close fight the first time around. I believe Dimitri Bivol won, but it was a close fight, and I think he's going to show this time so many improvements, and I think he's going to get a big win. So for me, the main event, but there's so many fights throughout the card that we're excited for.
I've got an awkward question for you. If you had to remove one fight from this card, which one would you remove?
I mean, just because, look, we're obviously involved with 4 of the fights on the card, so I wouldn't remove any of the fights we're involved in. It's a hard one to say, isn't it? Caballero, maybe, but it's a tremendous fight as well. So if you're asking me a hard question, there's my answer.
Yeah, I might title the video "Frank Smith wants Caballero and Zhang off the card."
Yeah, that's some of you lot would do it like that.
I wouldn't do it, but it's wild, isn't it, that you have to really think. And I'm assuming you might have picked one of your own fighters, but you probably don't want to do that.
No, but look, the fighters. When you look at the fighters we've got in this card, obviously Bivol in the rematch for the undisputed light heavyweight championship that we've been through already. Callum Smith takes on Joshua Buatsi. That's a brilliant fight. I think Joshua Buatsi's on a good run, but Callum Smith, I think he's going to show why he's still hungry in the sport. Why he still wants the big fights and why he will still be involved in the big fights. You got Shakur Stevenson having his first fight with Matchroom against Floyd Schofield. Obviously, Floyd Schofield signed with Golden Boy. That back and forth will continue, I'm sure. So that's another tremendous fight. And actually, probably my second favourite fight on the card, Israel Madrimov against Virgil Ortiz. Israel Madrimov, one of those people at such an early stage of his career, willing to take on any challenge, and I think that's going to be a big win there for Israel Madrimov. But yeah, a big night for the sport, a big night for boxing.
Yeah, I was reading Madrimov's record earlier. 11 fights and his last two opponents 40-0 and 25-0, and now 22-0. That's mad.
People don't take risks like he does. Look, he had a tremendous amateur career. He's a special fighter, so he's obviously a bit more advanced than certain people would be at 11-0. But what he's shown is he's willing to test himself. He went straight in there against Terence Crawford after winning the belt against Kurbanov. He was supposed to fight on the December card. Unfortunately, wasn't available for that. But he's shown he's willing to take challenges. He's willing to take the biggest fights in the sport, and he'll continue to do so. And I think, if he can beat Virgil Ortiz, there's so many big fights to be made for him.
Definitely. Did you bump into Chris Eubank at the ring dinner the other day?
No, I didn't see him, mate.
It looks like the fight is imminent. Where's your relationship at with Chris? Because it looks like we're going to get news for that imminently.
No different than it was before. It's the same place it was before. Obviously, I've got a relationship with Conor via my job. I've links with Chris via family, but look, I've said it a dozen times. If the fight happens, and I'm confident it will, and it's a fight that I've said I wanted to see, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think, does it? I can't get in the ring and help either of them. The best man will win, and it'll be a great fight, and it'll be a huge fight for the sport.
Indeed, we'll look forward to the imminent news. I think he might even be announced today. You just never know. Frank, thank you for your time.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.